And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. So today, I actually have my good friend Don Tucker, and
Yeah.
today we are going to be doing season 6, Cobra Kai, part 1. I'm excited to have Don here to talk about this. This is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to dive into Cobra Kai season 6, part 1. Without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get on with the show.
That's not it.
I have fat fingers, sir.
That's not it.
Go. And hello, movie lovers and fellow Cobra Kai fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say this: welcome to the show, Don. I appreciate you coming out here. And guess what? Welcome back, Cobra Kai fans, to another action-packed episode of Kicking It with Cobra Kai. I'm your host, Johnny, the podcast sensei Lawrence, and with me, I have my good friend Daniel, the content crane Lariso. Today, we're diving into the awesomeness that is Cobra Kai season 6. And let's not forget the epic showdown. Spoiler alert, Miguel and Robbie team up to fight a new villain, and it's more intense than Donnie's obsession with the 80s. So let's go ahead. Let's dive into Cobra Kai. So how's it going, Don?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I don't like when you bring me out here to talk about things I don't really watch that much. So I don't know much about this show. I'm not really a fan of the show at all. So we're gonna have to talk about this.
Look, Don, we don't do OnlyFans here on Movie Lovers Unite. I just want to say that.
No, I've been waiting for this for so long, man, to come out. My overall thoughts, I would say, is I love it. I love this show. I just think it hits it out of the park every time for me, even with the cheesiness and the obvious overacting of it. I think it's so great. I love this show top to bottom.
I do too, especially on the top to bottom. I think you want to go on ahead and take off your hoodie and just to get that over with, so that way everybody else can see your Cobra Kai shirt.
To think that I like this show, because I really just don't like this show at all. I've never been
not at all. You definitely don't like it. No,
I've never been a fan of Cobra Kai or is it the Karate Child? What is it called?
It's called the Karate Kid, sir.
Karate Kid. Yeah, that one.
But like you said, this show is fantastic.
It was okay. It was okay. The main was he was fine, but
Tory hater, indeed, Tory hater. Let me just say this: I think the Tory character this season, I thought that Tory would actually do a whole entire turnaround and stuff like that, and instead she winds up going back full circle, being on the dark side of things. And I'm just tired of her being angry all the damn time. Like, I get it. You're with her mom being addicted to pills and stuff like that, and she's trying to help her mom. And then I understand that you can be guided into a different light, because of Kreese coming in all of a sudden. Because first she's all in with Miyagi-Do. She's trying to get along with Daniel's daughter now, and they're trying to bond. And then also too, you have Johnny, who's trying to do a slumber party date and try to get them together. But yeah, that's but what do you think?
Yeah, no, I was hoping for the turnaround with her, like you. But I do think this is the way they had to go with the character because of the anger and the fact that she just can't let shit go. Like, she really just can't let it go officially. Yeah, it's tough, because I was really mad when she walked over when she walks up at the end, man. I was really, really mad about it.
Right, exactly. But though, I mean, I just wanted her to have a different shift this season going into it.
Agree.
And instead she winds up being really pissed off because of the fact that she can't fight. And at first I thought it was going to go that way. I thought for sure she was going to wind up hurting Daniel's daughter and hurting her and stuff like that, especially the way she ended up hitting her. And you could definitely tell that this wasn't Tori. This was something else that was executed and Daniel didn't know what was going on or anything like that, and neither did his daughter.
Yeah.
At that time, it wasn't until his wife said, "Hey, look, we got to stop the fight."
Yep. Yeah. I really like the way they use her in this season too.
Yeah, she had a lot of good moments in this season with Amanda.
Stuff with her and Chosen's really funny. The stuff with her and Johnny at the dealership is hilarious. There's a lot
trying to do the Jerry Maguire thing where he stands up on top of the counter and he's like,
"Oh my
who's
God.
coming with me? Who wants a dish LaRusso?"
It's so funny. I like when he's like, grab a couple used cars from the car. We're going to start her.
Hey, Anthony, look, forget about Daniel and everything. We'll patch up the beef that we have against each other and everything, and we'll start our own dealership.
Oh my God, so funny. I love it.
Amanda has to go in and pull him off the thing and goes, look, would you stop with the cheap Jerry Maguire gag? It's not working.
Yeah. Really good stuff with her this season, though. I like her a lot. And I'll tell you what, really, I probably my favorite part of this season is the Chosen and Johnny stuff. Is really good. I know we'll get to it later, but that stuff is funny, man. Really good stuff.
I agree. I definitely like the whole thing with Chosen, especially that one part where he goes, they started off a beef war with the other dojo and stuff, and to take down Terry Silver, and now that's over with, and that's normal, right?
No, it's not normal. It's not normal.
But yeah, then of course, but yeah, I definitely liked those moments, but also too at the very start of it, you actually get, no, I definitely like the very start of it where basically you have the sign of the logo of Cobra Kai being torn down, Daniel smiling about it because now he feels at peace because there's no more Cobra Kai. Everybody's under one umbrella. You got Eagle Fang learning the way of, just the way of the Miyagi-Do.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the way they started off where they're at right now with them being basically one big dojo and them trying to figure out basically Johnny and Daniel's relationship still. I mean, we know that they're not specifically hostile to each other anymore, but they're not like best friends either. I mean, they still have that just kind of bro rivalry. You know what I mean? Just two guys that don't hate each other or dislike each other. They just are confrontational with each other a lot, even though
they're just on two sides of the coin, basically. One side is just
not hostile from either side. Do you know what I mean? They just kind of are like brothers that just fuck with each other, basically. They're just holding each other to a higher like standard. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh no, don't be that. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So it's fun to see where they're at, and then throwing Chosen in there as like sort of the kind of balance to all this, because you need Chosen because he's the most connected to like Miyagi-Do and the style of fighting that they're trying to teach. So he's kind of like the one that watches over both to make sure there's a good balance. I like that.
Me too. It's making sure that the Miyagi name is still intact, still in continuity with what Miyagi was for.
He's kind of the closest we have to a Miyagi now.
Right, because that's like the only thing that we have from Okinawa. You know what I mean? And I think
he's directly connected to all of it. So yeah, absolutely.
And I like how also too how Chosen's like, look, I'm just trying to protect the legacy, just like you are, Daniel, and stuff. And that's all I'm trying to do. And then they also want to fight each other because of the fact that there's two different styles of how they want to do things, and he's just trying to protect the name. And I definitely like how he's protective of it. I definitely like how he still wants to respect Miyagi and things like that too,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I really Chosen is one of my favorite characters in the show because I like what they're doing with him. I really love how they introduced him as like almost being like against Daniel, but then just kind of trying to show him something, which I thought was really well done. So, and I like where he's come to now. He's basically living with them and he's helping keeping Miyagi-Do going. And from what we know of Chosen, he tried to kill Daniel at one time. Basically, he had a knife and he was ready to kill him. So it's a really, I love how they build this world up. I really do. It's weird saying like the lore of Karate Kid, but there's a lore now that's pretty fun.
Right? Because I like how everybody has layers to them now compared to how it was in the 80s and stuff like that. There was like very one-dimensional. There was no story arcs. It is what it is. Once you see is what you got, and that was it. and we don't understand who Chosen was. All we knew he was a ball bag because of the fact that he was trying to rape on Daniel's girlfriend that he happens to fall in love with in Okinawa, where he was in Okinawa. I mean, I can't even say the word.
I know. Okinawa.
but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But and then they wind up having a beef with each other and stuff like that too. So that's all because Daniel's like a fish out of water in part 2, where he's in this new world he doesn't understand. And then he winds up being where Chosen, and then he meets up with Chosen, and Chosen wants to kick his ass, stuff like that. So I like the bond now that they have because when we were kids, we don't think about certain things or whatever. We grow from our experiences, and then whenever he meets Chosen, he thinks, "Oh shit, it's about to happen. He's about to get his ass whooped."
Yeah.
And then he winds up seeing Chosen. Now you have this big, huge bond now, especially going into season 6. I definitely like the bond and the friendship that they have, and especially whenever they went up after Terry Silver.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite things about part 3 was the Terry Silver character.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. No, I mean, the way that they have they've made now Johnny, Chosen, and Mike all basically the good guys, and they made Kreese and Terry Silver the bad guys, which makes sense. It completely makes sense. And I love how they have that little bit of twist with Mike in this one too. This season was really fun with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Him and Johnny having a fight was really fun.
I definitely like whenever they were up inside that one area in the construction thing that he was in, and they're fighting.
It was like his wood shop or something.
Like a wood shop.
Yeah,
and they're over there fighting, and Barnes is like, you know what? I'm good. I got that out of my system. There was just something that just took over me that was there, and I didn't know that was there. Especially whenever he was judging the tournaments and judging everybody for wanting to go overseas. He's like, look, I got that out of my system now. Now that I ended up fighting Johnny, and I like how LaRusso goes, "What? You did what?"
Yeah. Yes, very nice. But one thing I think we all are going to talk. I think we have to talk about is where Johnny is now as a person. This dude is looking for a house for his family. Like, just how far he's come from the dude that's just like, no, I'm good in my little 1-bedroom apartment, to where he is now, where like I have a family and I have a kid on the way, and I need to do real man shit. And just where he is, I think is so great. And the way he fucking is just like, okay, I'll sell cars for you to Daniel. It's so fucking great. And then he's just selling cars like before he's even hired. He's the best. Johnny's the best, man.
He's definitely a fish out of water because he doesn't know what to do, especially whenever he gets chosen to try and do buy the house and stuff like that too.
Dude, it's one of my favorite things.
And I like how Chosen goes, bad haircut, watch, he goes, look, let me do the talking. I can do this. So Chosen tries to do the talking, and then Johnny winds up saying, yeah, I got my girlfriend knocked up, and, now we're also going to move her immigrant mother into the house, and yeah, we're going to have one big family. And then he looks at the van and goes, so that's yours? Oh yeah, that's going to be there all night. You can't go anywhere without that car.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to be scared.
Yeah. Dude, it's just, Johnny is such a great character because the way they play him as still this fish out of water, and it still works, is still it's really fun that he still gets to play this character this way. Because you would think by season 6 it would be like, all right, come on, dude, like what things are now, but it still works somehow. It really does work.
It really does. And then you don't even expect the fact that you actually don't even expect them to even try to hustle this guy, and then he goes over to the next house that they go to, and it's the same guy.
It's the same dude. Of course it is. And he gets lucky though. Johnny being Johnny gets lucky.
Because of the fact that it was some guy that he knew in middle school that looked up to him.
Yep.
And I didn't even expect that to happen. Like there was actually someone that actually looked up to Johnny. when everybody else was. Maybe he actually protected this guy, and we don't know anything about that. All we know is that one experience with Daniel because of that one moment, and that's it.
Yep.
But I also want to talk about Stingray for a minute.
Okay.
Being back in this for a small cameo experience.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, you got your ass kicked by Silver.
Yeah, you did.
And you still want to be part of Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And I understand where he's coming from because it wasn't because of the fact that he was with Sensei Kreese or Sensei Silver or anything. It was the fact that he looked up to Johnny and stuff like that. So that's why he wanted to do it. He thought that maybe keeping Johnny's memory alive, he would actually want to join back with him. But
my question is, why is he up in the woods like with these kids? Why isn't he somewhere? Because that just looks weird. That just looks wrong.
Well, even Johnny points it out.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, it just looks wrong. Like, just go in the park or something if you don't have, like, just don't be in the woods with it. Like, that just looks creepy.
Like, I get the fact that you're underground because of the Cobra Kai name, but still, dude, you're in the woods with, like, little kids from daycare.
Dude, yeah, these are like middle school kids for sure at best.
And and I understand that, you know, he's not thinking logically or anything like that either, because he's lonely. He just wants some friends. He just wants to be accepted. But you know,
you're not teaching Cobra Kai to children that age. No mercy. There's no parent that's gonna be like, yeah, that's cool at that age.
But I just, if I got my ass kicked by Terry Silver and also wasn't accepted by Sensei Kreese either, would I want to continue under that brand, knowing that I got almost died because of them and also got paid hush money to actually keep something, to actually lie my ass off?
What if he showed up with his kids for the fucking tournament instead of the other Cobra Kai? Oh shit, that would have been great. That would have been.
It would have been funny though if he actually had the other Cobra Kais that joined his crew. But I was kind of hoping that Johnny would say, "Look, man, why don't you just join Miyagi-Do?
Yeah,
you can still look up to me. You can still do what you do." And everything. We might try and let you be an assistant sensei, you know, but that's
sensei in training, something like that.
Right. Yeah. But no, I like how Johnny just leaves him behind because he's like, look, man, that's the old me. That's who I used to be.
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
But it is a good moment for Johnny also.
Right. Because you would think that he would want to join back in because that's what he knows.
Yeah.
But
or
he
at least
also knows,
take over and do it right again, not the way this dude's doing. Like, obviously, he would not take his kids or anything, but yeah, definitely. But no, he's on. Look, he really shows that he's on the team. Like, he is part of Miyagi-Do now, I think. Even though there is a little bit of him fighting it in the beginning of this season, he pretty much falls in line pretty quick. Just understands that this is the best way forward.
Exactly. And he winds up going back over to Miyagi-Do, trying to find a balance between everything. Yeah. And then Daniel also discovers the box of stuff that Miyagi's been keeping from him. And I like how Amanda points this out. He goes, well, do we tell our kids everything? Do we lie to our kids?
Yeah.
Because he's like, how dare Miss Miyagi not even tell me anything? And I like how Amanda calls him out on it.
He made a mistake. He was ashamed of it. I think it makes a lot of sense. People make mistakes. He was ashamed of what he did in Okinawa. So
I agree.
I mean, you know, I don't think this is a way to judge Miyagi. I think it just adds a layer to the person.
I think so too. It makes him not be that perfect person that Daniel knew him as. Everybody has their flaws.
Not only that, but why he was so good late in his life, why he was such a good person, and why he was this person that we got to see on screen for 3 movies.
Right, because
4 movies.
His past shaped him into who he is.
Yeah.
And he knew how Sensei Kreese it was because he was probably who he was back then, though, too.
Sure.
So he knew not to do the things that Kreese is doing. So he can teach Daniel and everything. It's about shaping your life and not letting your past dictate who you are.
No, again, I think it adds to the character. I do not think it takes away from the character at all.
No.
I don't think it diminishes his legacy in any way. So I hope people aren't thinking that or saying that, because
No.
I really truly believe it adds to the character, and it does make a lot of sense on why he was the way he was later in life with Daniel, and just in general, just being a nice person.
Right. And here's the thing. I don't think he was the founder of that tournament. I think he might have fought in the tournament and something went down.
I think he fought in it. Yeah. I think that's what they're saying. He fought in it because there's blood on his thing. So I think he was, a
but
fighter.
According to Daniel, he thinks that he founded it. But
okay,
I'm going in a different direction here. I'm thinking that he just fought in it. He realized that how violent it was and how much the rules are.
Well, dude, they said this is basically like the Kumite for Cobra Kai. Like that's what this is. And if you remember, Kumite is the kickboxing movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme,
right?
Where he goes and fights and basically to the death. It's basically a fight to the death, or till you knock the other person out.
Right. So, but if you think about it though, on that kind of level though too, because in the Karate Kid 2, Daniel was supposed to be fighting Chosen to the death. Yep. But I'm wondering if that was like metaphorically speaking, that he was just fighting to the death and they weren't actually going to kill each other. I think it was the fact that...
no, I don't think it's to the death, literally. I just mean this is a fight where you have to fight. Like there is no like
but
pads
I think that
and like
but to be honest with you, I think this tournament is the opposite of that. I think this is actually a more intensified tournament to the point where you're going to die in this tournament.
That's what I mean.
I don't think there's any rules.
That's what I mean. There's no rules. This is just you have to fight and knock the other person out. That's what I think.
This is right up Sensei Kreese's level. This is what he wants.
Why I'm gonna get to this point later. But I told my wife after I watched it, I said, honestly, Johnny's right this season. Daniel's wrong. Daniel's wrong.
Doing strike first.
Not even doing strike first. Just teaching these kids a harder way of fighting, because this isn't points anymore. This isn't you just get kicked in the leg and then it's a point. This is, you have to fight. So him not teaching them that, I think, is going to hurt them a little bit in the early rounds of this tournament.
Daniel's basically trying to be the overprotective parent and try to just teach him what he knows, and that's just the offense of it. Well, not offense, but defense of it. And you can't go in there thinking that this is also another one of those Hill Valley kind of things.
Exactly.
When it's not. It's completely different. You're outside your sector already. You're in this tournament fighting to the death, and you don't know what to expect. You don't know these fighters. You haven't seen no tape of what these fighters are or what they're doing or who you're up against. But you're going to go on ahead and teach them defense when you should be teaching offense.
Which, no, don't get me wrong. Defense is very important, but you also can't take away the fact that this is a full contact tournament. This is, you have to fight. So, and I think Johnny was doing the right thing and again, he does it in the worst way possible. He's never good in what he does, but he's at least trying to do the right thing. He's not trying to hurt the kids. He's trying to make them tougher.
Exactly. I just want to apologize to Saints Row 2. I know that before I said that Tori's mom died of an addiction, but I'm sorry, she actually had kidney disease, and I got that wrong just because of the fact that, I guess because of the fact I seen the way she died or whatever. So I'm sorry, I forgot about that. But no, so let's go on ahead. There's something else that we can talk about too.
Okay.
Let's see. Then there's also the fact that, you actually have a lot more going on with these characters as well. Like, what else do you want to talk about as far as this goes?
Well, I mean, I really like, I'll be honest. It's not that I haven't been interested in it. I just don't think it's as interesting to me as like, Johnny and Daniel and Chosen and all that, just because those are the characters I grew up with, so I'm more connected to their stories. But I think the stories with the kids in the beginning of this season, well, throughout the whole season, is really, really good. I like what they're doing with Robbie and
Miguel.
I really like what they're doing with Tori and Daniel's daughter. Why can't I remember her name?
I don't know. I can always remember Tori.
But with them two, I like the way they kind of patch things up, but then it becomes this rivalry because they're fighting for the head spot on the team and all that. I like where they go with all that.
Samantha.
Yeah, Samantha. Yes, thank you. And then I really like what they do with the son, man. The son now and the kid from last season.
I know who you're talking about.
The one that they fight at the arcade.
Yeah, I was going to get into that though too. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, them. I really like what they're doing with Anthony and him because we know why they don't like each other. We know what happened there. They were friends, and then they kind of fell out with everything that happened, and then now everything is just crazy. But like, I like the way they're bringing everything back together like that. They build this world so well because now we have all this with the teenagers from all 6 seasons that I can now go back and enjoy more probably.
Right, because I think that when you're going into it with the first season, you're experiencing with these kids is very different. Because think of it like this: they're kids, they're just teenagers, and now they're growing into adulthood.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And about to graduate high school, and they're thinking differently, and things like that too. You also have Demetrius, and then you also have Hawk, who.
Now that's a big falling out now because now Hawk's back to being a good guy, but he doesn't want to go to MIT anymore. That's a cool little storyline they have here.
It's all about. I used to think as a child, but now I see other options in front of me than MIT. I want to do something different with my life, and Demetrius needs to just let it go, and just let Hawk do his.
I mean, there's no reason you guys can't be friends. Like, I don't understand that one. Yeah.
I think it's just the fact of letting go because he felt more comfortable with the fact that he's going to be there with his friend, and it was their dream together.
And I think now he doesn't want to lose his friend again. He's already lost his friend once. He doesn't want to lose him again. So I get that.
And also too, man, like if my friend told me at that age, look, there's other things in front of me right now that I want to do. I don't want to do MIT. So that means shit. I'm on my own.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? I'm not going to have my friends with me anymore.
Yep.
So it's a lonely road for Dimitri. So I understand where he's coming from, but I want to focus on Daniel's son and also Kenny, though. Like you said, the beef between the two of them. I like how they had that confrontation, basically, where Robbie winds up confronting Kenny inside the batting cage.
Yeah.
And trying to level with them. And then the brother calls Kenny out on his own BS and say, hey, look, if you go down this road, you're going down the same road that I'm going on.
Yep. Yep.
And he goes, I never seen you that angry before. He's going ham on that punching bag.
Oh, for sure.
And so his brother's like, look, if you continue down this road, guess what? You're going to go down the same road I am. Hey, baby, how you doing? But yeah, you're gonna go down this road that I'm on, and that's not good because you already seen where I was at. I was in juvie, and that's where you're gonna land if you don't strain out. So he goes over to Miyagi-Do, and then Daniel's son winds up giving him a little Johnny Lawrence nod, welcoming him into Miyagi-Do, and basically saying, "Hey, look, I'm not this person anymore."
Yeah. Absolutely, man. There's just layers upon layers now that they're building on with these characters, which I love so much. Everybody's getting layers to them.
They are. Everybody's getting layers, getting story structures out there in part 1, which is something I liked. At first, I was like, well, I don't really like this new season. And I just felt like maybe because of the fact that there was like only 5 episodes, I wanted more. I felt like maybe one more would have actually helped it a little bit more. But now the more that we're talking about this, the more that I'm actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that I loved about what they did.
Yeah. Again, I think the writers, I don't remember their names off the top of my head right now, but I think they have a grasp on this world and just what they've always said since the beginning, they have an ending. So I think they do. I think they have a way to end this, and we all be like, you know what? It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn fucking good at the end of the day. We got 6 really good seasons of a show that, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm happy with. I'm happy with where we're at now in this world.
This show. Okay, so Tay says this show is ruined thanks to those creators for ruining season 6 in a rush. Okay, so Tay, this is just me. Okay,
yeah,
that's your own opinion, and here's the thing.
Absolutely.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you, and I'm going to tell you why I respectfully disagree with you, and you can state your own opinion and everything. I have no influence over how you think, but just hear me out on this and tell me what you think of this, okay? So during the time of this and everything too, we also had the writer's strike happening. So therefore, they had to go on ahead and basically break this thing up, because I believe that they had part of this in production already. So therefore, they might have had to already basically have to go on ahead and split the seasons up into separate parts, even though they didn't want to. They probably already had this set already done, and then having to go in and try to direct all these other part of the episodes. So it could have been this writer's strike that had a lot to do with it. And that is why I respectfully disagree with you on it. But I understand if this season didn't work for you like it did with all the other 5 seasons. But, part 1 was pointless and that was rush and cliche. Like I said, that's your opinion. And, that's perfectly funny. That's perfectly fine. Okay, my wife also says, I hate that it ended without having the competition. Okay, so the competition is going to be the big climax of the whole entire deal because there's more to it, babe. But
it's 3 parts, right? It's 3 5-episode parts, right? It's 3 parts,
right?
Yeah.
And I remember on TikTok and everything too. I follow the movie diva as well, and she was also saying that did we really need this being split up into parts? And I said, to be honest with you, I can understand Stranger Things being split into different parts.
Yeah.
Because that works for Stranger Things. It's a different story arc. It's different in tone. With Cobra Kai, it doesn't need to be split into parts. But after I sat down and just thought about it for a second, I was thinking that it was because the writer strikes and things like that. It may not make sense as far as a show like this goes, and it wasn't the direction that they wanted to go in, but they had to do something in order to appease us and to be able to get something out there. But that's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, absolutely, that's possible because it was during that writer strike. So maybe, they had these 5 episodes ready and they didn't have the other 10 ready yet, or maybe the last 5 ready yet. I feel like the way it's setting up, at least, is the first 5 is the setting up of the team. The second 5 is going to be setting up of the villains, which, I mean, we do have the setup of who they are in the first part, but I think we're going to get the interactions between them and them now that they're together in a place and they can interact. And then, like you said, I think the climax, the last 5, is going to be the actual tournament. I think we'll get some matches in the second 5, but I think it's going to come down to probably 8 fighters.
Yeah, it's going to come down to probably 8 fighters going head to head. I'm thinking that we're going to lose a couple of characters this go round.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Maybe 2 of our characters are going to make it to the final 8, probably. Maybe it's the final 16 in the last 5 episodes. But either way, the final episodes are going to be those big matches at the end of the tournament, for sure.
There's something that was said this season where it says that they're going to make one of them I wasn't sure it was going to be Johnny or it was going to be Daniel, where they're going to lose somebody that important to them to make them feel that the pain. So my thing is,
somebody's going to get hurt really bad. I don't think somebody's going to die. I think
someone's going to die.
Really? You think they're going to go for a death?
I think they are. I really do.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to go
as hardcore as this tournament is. It's not a kid anymore. They're 18.
Oh, that hurts, man. If they do, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, they're 18 now. It's not like I said before, they're outside. This is like the best of the best. This is like the movie, the best of the best, where they're going head to head.
I'm also predicting, before we get to it, also, Tori drops out.
I don't think she's going to drop out.
Yep, for sure. They're going to.
So you think she's going to come to her senses and realize that Kreese is the one?
It's going to be a fight against one of the Miyagi-Dos, and she's gonna say, no, I'm not fighting.
Let's see. So I'm gonna get to Brandy's point in one
someone's
second.
definitely getting hurt. Someone's definitely getting hurt.
The creators are Miyagi-Do fanboys and literally want Cobra Kai to lose and have Miyagi. Okay, so here's the thing: the creators are Cobra Kai, are Miyagi-Do fans and stuff like that. They are the creators behind it. They want to protect the legacy of who Miyagi is and stuff like that when it comes down to the writing and stuff like that. But also, too, don't forget, they also gave Kreese, they also gave Terry Silver layers to their characters that we haven't had before either. So anything is possible when it comes down to the writing and the creatability of what Cobra Kai is doing and behind the creators on what they're doing. So it could go one. I think it's going to go one way where one way Cobra Kai fans are going to go hollering and hurrahing over Cobra Kai, and then you have Miyagi-Do being angry at Cobra Kai to have like split down the middle like it usually is. Yep. I don't see nepotism when it comes down to it, to this and everything. At the end of the day, Cobra Kai is the villain, though, too. So there you go. But Brandy says, I think someone is going to get hurt.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, somebody's definitely getting hurt. I just don't think somebody's going to die. But again, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it can't happen. It can happen for sure.
Right.
So,
and the reason why I said I think someone's going to die is because look how that kid is kicking someone's head.
Yeah.
Like, there's no coming back from that.
Kill shots for sure. I'll give you that. They are going for kill shots. And I'm wondering how that's going to work because the first time they see that, Daniel and Johnny are going to have to come up with a fucking an answer to that immediately. Like, immediately.
I'm just hoping now, over under, do you see them going up against Cobra Kai in the first round as far as a montage goes? Or do you see them looking at the other competitors and seeing what that kid is doing and is like, oh shit, Johnny, you're right. I'm wrong. We need to train them in a different style and what we're doing. I
think that's going to happen for sure. Yeah,
I think they're going to fly Chosen over there. I think they're also going to have to go on ahead and get the bad boy from Part 3 over.
Yep. Oh, they're all coming back. Yeah, this is going to be all hands on deck. We need to destroy people now.
We need to come up with a plan.
Yep. Yeah, because here's also the thing. I'll say 5 of them are definitely battle ready. Like they've had fights before. Real fights.
Right.
The only one that hasn't
in that school
is the one
scene
that sort of cheats her way in, which we'll talk about that later, I guess.
Yeah, I wanted to get to that with Kenny, where now Kenny thinks that LaRusso is the one behind it whenever he isn't the one behind it.
He's not.
Or anything like that either, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But I definitely like these predictions that we're going with, though, when it comes down to the ending and the cutscene and stuff like that. And then also, too, you said Tori might come to her senses as well.
She will. I think she's going to disqualify herself and walk away. And there's going to be a fight with Kreese and somebody else. Probably Daniel.
So do you think it's going to be against Kreese and Johnny?
Probably Johnny. Yeah. Johnny's going to step in and be like, get your hands off my student.
Okay. So another thing, do you see maybe it's going to be the leaders facing off against each other as well in this tournament?
Not in the tournament, but I think they're going to fight behind the scenes for sure. Yeah.
So I know I mentioned a character's death, but what if one of the I would be pissed if Johnny dies or if Daniel dies.
I don't want to think about that. Chosen
came close to dying when it came down to Terry and them. I was so afraid for Chosen last season.
Man, I hope it's not Chosen.
Me too, because Chosen is hands down my favorite character in this whole entire show.
Yeah, he's up there, man, for sure for me. He's easily top 2 or 3, easily.
But yeah, so
I just love Johnny because just the way he plays. I just think William Zabka plays the character really well now.
He does. He understands the character. He understands who he is and everything.
Yep.
And I'm actually reading Ralph Macchio's book right now and learning a lot more inside the baseball realm of the Karate Kid and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they really didn't like each other for a while.
No, they didn't. But
yeah.
But though,
it's good to see everybody like this kind of just have fun with it. I do like that.
So let's talk about LaRusso and Kenny
Mm-hmm.
and the girl that cheated her way into that.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think she, in my opinion, got in her own way. Now, Johnny didn't help in that one part. He didn't help. But before that, she would, like, every time when they were doing the little tests and stuff that he was putting them through, she would, her head wasn't in the game. Like, she wasn't ready. And then she would get mad, and then she went and cried to Johnny about it, and Johnny tried to help her, but even he messed it up, which, again, that's fine. But I feel like it was more her fault than not being talented enough.
Right. And every single time when that she wanted the bad, what I'm saying, the judge to look at her
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, she would always complain about it. I'm like, dude, he missed you. He missed you. He's got other people that besides you that he's looking at.
Man. Yeah. No, it happens. And again, I get it. Like, you're not supposed to be like happy about it if you don't get picked, but I think she had a real chance because I love Dimitri, but he's not making it on this team without, if she's there, or if even Kenny. If Kenny was there the whole time competing, Kenny's on the team for sure. Don't you think?
Yeah, Kenny's on the team for sure.
Well, never mind. I'm sorry. He was there the whole time. I mean, obviously, what happened to him
because he ran into the toilet, right?
Yeah, I completely blanked for a second. No, you're right. But there's a lot better people than her or than Dimitri on this team, and she legitimately did have a chance before that, I think.
Right. But what did you think of Dimitri doing what he did to Hawk? That was like a very underhanded thing that reminded me of so much of Cobra Kai.
Yes, this is that. Just look, we're friends again, but there's a past. We have a past still. So yeah, man, like, this is him getting him back in a way.
And but also too, Hawk still gets to go. So that's something that made me happy.
I do like that Hawk is going, because Hawk is fucking so bad. He's one of my top 3 characters too.
Mine too. And you know what though, man? Here's the thing. Even Daniel looks over at Johnny. He goes, "Do you see the big picture here?" He goes, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah.
And he even knows that it shouldn't be Dimitri going. It should be Hawk that's going.
Yeah, for sure. Dimitri shouldn't be on the team. And again, it's nothing against Dimitri, but he's not one of the best fighters there. He's just not.
He reminds me of that girl that's complaining because of the fact that she's not getting the attention from the judge.
Yeah.
And so therefore he wants to be noticed, but he also wants to underhand his friend because of and punishing him because he doesn't want to go to MIT.
Yep. No, which is Johnny should have picked the team. Johnny should have picked the team. Miguel and Tori would be the captains, and Robbie would be pissed at Johnny as usual, and Sam would be mad because she didn't get picked as the captain. But they would have the best captains, and they would have, well, Sam, in my opinion, wouldn't be on the team then either, because it would be Kenny, probably Hawk, Robbie, Miguel, Tori. I don't know who the 6th person would be, but they would have dogs. They would have absolute fighters on that team. That would, because
that's what you need for this. Now, this I do agree on. You need to have fighters. You need to have a pit bull when it comes down.
Sam wouldn't be on the team, in my opinion, if they legitimately picked the best fighters. And again, nothing against Sam. I like her as a character. I think she's a good character, but she's not one of the best fighters. She's just not.
Now, if Tori didn't switch sides, she would have been the top dog.
For sure. It would have been Tori and Miguel as the captains, in my opinion. I do think Miguel is a better fighter than Robbie overall. I do think
most definitely. Yeah. Because he's got both styles down. So does Robbie, though.
Oh, Robbie is a great fighter. There's no doubt. Yeah.
Right.
Again, nothing.
But what about Hart, though, too? Who has the best?
I think you got to give it to Miguel, man. He broke his back and came back and won again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you got to give him, and again, nothing against Robbie, because I think Robbie has a lot of heart, but he's just shown that he also has a little bit of a tendency to lose his temper.
That's true too.
So, it's again, you're not wrong either way. I'll put it that way. Like, Robbie or Miguel could be the male leader, but I do think Miguel, I would give it to Miguel personally.
What did you think of the frat party fight that they had?
That's a fun scene, man. Yeah. And that's where we get the separation of Dimitri and Hawk. That's where Hawk.
Right, this is where they had the talk of, hey, that's what I once thought of. I wanted to do MIT. I don't want to do MIT anymore.
Yeah,
and going to this college made me realize I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I love that they bring what's his name back, and now he's like their bitch. Oh my god, I thought that was great.
The human vacuum cleaner.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I thought that was a great moment because I liked him, even though he was obviously an asshole, and he was. But I liked the way he would talk crap. I thought he was a fun character to have, so I like that they brought him back.
Let's see, my wife said the frat party. She said the frat party was very cheesy. I remember her looking at me, just, do you find this a bit cheesy? I'm like, yeah, it does look kind of cheesy. Even the whole entire, I know that I said I like the whole woodchop thing too, but you can definitely tell this is like an 80s, 90s way of actually doing a chop.
There's a saw on. There's no way anybody's dying in that fight. There's no way either one of them is
just for shock value.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way either one of them is dying.
Exactly. The most that they would probably do is lose a finger, and then they would go on ahead, sew that shit up, and go to the ER and be done.
Exactly. It would be dumb. So, but again, I don't mind the cheese. I like the cheese because look, the original movies were cheesy as hell too. There's no way you could deny it. They were cheesy as hell.
The frat party for me, I thought it was cheesy, but at the same time, though, you had a lot of good moments in there before the fight.
Yes.
And which actually saves it for me.
This show is the master of cheese. I will give it that. I will say that to anybody. This show is absolutely cheesy. But I think it fits the world, and I think it fits. So this isn't a drama. Like that's the one thing if you're watching Cobra Kai as a drama, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. They're making fun of the first three movies, and not making fun of them, just
paying homage,
having fun with the lore, and certain things that happen that we're like, oh, that's so important. They make a little, they'll have a little joke about it or reference it, and it's great. I love it. I love that kind of stuff.
The thing that I liked though too was like all of a sudden they run into the two guys that one guy that Hawk beat the hell out of. He has reconstructive, like basically his teeth were missing and stuff like that. He wound up getting his teeth redone.
Yeah.
Then you also had the other guy that was from Cobra Kai, like you mentioned, and they're friends. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, it was like a total 360.
It was like weird.
But at the same time, though, you're not in high school anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So they're past all the Cobra Kai stuff.
Yep.
So it's about maturing as men and realizing this is what I once was. I'm not doing that no more. I'm past the Cobra Kai thing, and this is who I am. But you're also being a human vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
My favorite thing is goes, bitch, don't you know I could know karate?
Yeah, so funny. It was so funny. I love it. I loved it. It was a great moment. It's fun, man. It's cheesy. It's fun. This feels like 80s to me. This is like a show that would have came out in the 80s, like based on the movie.
In the 80s and early 90s, basically.
Yeah.
For a Saturday morning.
Cheese, but it's still funny. It's still good.
I love it. I love this show so much, though. Like, I eat, breathe, and sleep Cobra Kai all the time.
And you and me have talked about this off camera before. I think this might be my favorite show of all time, man. I really do, just because of the fun of it and the just insane. It's insane. It's insane. This show is absolutely insane, but it has so much fun being insane. And it touches so many great things from the movies. It just does. It handles them and touches them so well. Which and
not only that, but most of the kids face like real life situations and choices that they have to make. It's all about what Miyagi says is find a balance and focus and try to find who you are, your inner you.
Because if you think about it, really, this is just Johnny and Daniel that literally just dragged a new generation of teenagers into this fight and was like, now you guys can fight for us. That's basically what
Bloods and Crips kind of thing.
And then Kreese was like, oh, you guys are back. Cool. Let's go freaking torture some kids again. And
that was my first thing in season 1. I'm like, I wonder if Kreese is going to see that and be like, oh, so you guys are starting this little thing up your own self. Okay, Johnny, I want in on this now too. So I thought it was cool that they got got Kreese back to do this again.
Yeah. No, there's just a lot of fun craziness in this show that I love it. I love it all. And then there's some really heartwarming moments, man. That I stand by this. The Kimiko episode in season 3, I think it was, where
Kimiko.
She's showing him the letters from Mr. Miyagi, man. That right there, that was the kind of stuff I was hoping for in this show, and we got it. So
me too. Yeah. Brandy says, I thought it was interesting about Miyagi's past. So did we. We thought that was actually pretty good as well.
I didn't expect it, that's for sure. Like, you don't expect him to have been a part of some kind of fighting like this. And you can only imagine that, if it's somewhat regulated now, how like raw it must have been back then.
That was like Bloodfest. That had
they were actually trying to kill each other. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I don't see this thing being as regulated as it needs to be. I think that it's still going to be cutthroat no matter which way you turn about it.
I think,
and not only that, but now maybe Kreese could actually pay off the refs.
That's another one. One.
Emmett, Yuri. Hey, how's it going, man? Good to have you here.
How we doing?
But yeah, that's how I feel about it. I think that now you can pay the refs off now because he's overseas. The U.S. laws don't contain to stuff overseas now. So therefore, you can do whatever you want. This is everything that is in Kreese's playing field now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. This is underground. This is everything that he wants in a fight.
But another thing okay. So Emmett says, so what do you think about Tori rejoining Cobra Kai? Let's see.
I think it makes sense. The way they set it up and the way, that Kreese puts it in her head, that, they're going to turn on you the first chance they get. And then her mother dies and then she is supposed to fight Tori and Daniel steps in because, she's like, Amanda's like, no, don't let her fight. There's something really wrong here. So it makes sense. Yes. Is it what we wanted? No, I think we both said that this isn't what we wanted with her. I think we both wanted her to kind of stay on the right path at this point.
Right. We wanted her to stay on the right path.
Now. Robbie was kind of the same way as Tori. He was going down the wrong path, angry at his dad, and just finally we got him back, and I don't think we want to lose Tori either now. So
no,
I think we'll get her back, but it's there's a journey she has to go through.
Right. And I think if it wasn't for that if she had a PTSD moment with her mom having the fist, and then she just wanted to go on ahead and fight because that's all she knows. And she's fighting out of anger and not out of her own heart, not because of the fact that she wants to succeed in this fight. She wants to hurt somebody because she doesn't know what to do now because she lost her mother. And she's using her anger because that's actually one of the ways of actually coping with someone you lose is anger.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's angry and she's fighting. And then Amanda has to step in and say, look, what she's doing is not good. We have to stop the fight. And then I like how Johnny goes, why? Why do we have to stop the fight? Tell me why we have to stop the fight. And then Amanda said, I was going to say it. And then Tori winds up saying, because my mother died.
Yeah.
And
powerful moment too for her. I really like the acting again from these. I think these kids have also found these characters really well.
They definitely do. And then Kreese manipulating the whole thing. Kreese is the one that killed her mom. We already know that.
I believe so. Yeah. I really think so. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but she just got diagnosed again because they thought that they got all the cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden she just drops the next day.
And it was from a brain tumor, or not a tumor, but a blood clot in her brain, which that's weird.
Right.
I mean, it's not weird, but it's just,
the timing of it all.
Yes. Right.
Because it's all about manipulating. It wouldn't be Kreese to do something like this.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing.
Because if she just died, she wouldn't have her fist like this in self-defense.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree 100%. Because they focused on that specifically. So, there's a reason for that. Yeah.
But it was just to get her back on the same playing field as him. I would like to see her go to Miyagi, though, and not just drop out of the tournament.
Oh, by the way, she is going to probably kick Samantha's ass in the first or second round, I would say. Those two are going to fight, and she is going to destroy her, unfortunately. That might be the big one. Maybe she really hurt Sam.
I think so too. But don't forget, I think that they're going to go for the chest. I think they're going to do the chest kick. I think they're going to do the head kick as well. And that's not good because of the fact now like I said, I think someone's going to die this season. I don't think it's going to.
I'm not going to say that yet, but I have to see the next. Once this tournament starts, we'll get a good idea of what can and can't happen. But
and here I am. I just want blood. I just feel like I want these kids to.
Look, I'm not saying it's impossible.
No.
It's definitely possible. So. Because they have said this is like the Kumite of teenage or whatever fighting. So again,
right,
it's possible. I just feel like there's going to be a little bit of like maybe you can't kill them, but it can happen. But maybe you can't just try to do that. So I don't know. We'll see. We will see because this is underground. So who knows, man.
But there's one more thing I want to bring up too, and it's just the fact of how much of Karate 3. I know everybody shits on Karate Kid Part 3.
Okay. Yeah.
But I love.
They do.
But here's the thing, though. Silver is the standout that had the most layers to that character. When it came down to a villain, Terry was always my favorite villain when it came down to the Karate Kid 3.
Okay.
It wasn't Mike Barnes. It was the fact that you have.
Terry Silver was definitely the big bad. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
he was definitely the scary.
So that's someone that I really liked, and I'm glad that they brought him back in for like last season to do something more with his character. But yeah, and also too, I read too where they actually did want to protect. One of the reasons why Ralph Macchio came back was because of the fact of how much they liked and protected the Miyagi, legacy.
Sure. Oh yeah.
And that's why he came back. But you raised a very good point though. Whenever it came down to Okinawa as well, where Daniel goes over there, and that was also another thing. They wanted to make sure that they kept Miyagi's name still going as a character.
For sure.
And even when he's gone, he's still getting layers to a character that we can't see.
Yep.
It's just
I think it's great. I think it's good because again, they're never disrespectful. I don't think they've ever done anything that I would say is disrespectful to the character. I think they've just added layers to the character of things we just didn't know.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to cover as far as this part of the season goes?
Just the fun. I've really just had fun, man. Watching them do this stuff, like, all the stuff in the backyard or, the training things and then in the woods with that. I just had a lot of fun, man. It was just a lot of fun again being back in this world. I can't wait for the next 2 parts. Same
here. I had a lot of fun with this season. Did it need to be split up into parts? Probably not.
It didn't. But
I liked it for what it is. It's fun. It's good. It's just a good time to just stuff popcorn in your face, revisit the 80s era of the Karate Kid, and be a kid again. Let's see here. Emmett says, what did you think about Cobra Kai season 6? The first 5 episodes was just all right, good, bad for me. Meh. Okay, so I felt that way before Dawn and I got on the show. And I felt like, this was an okay season. It wasn't that great. It was fun, but the more that I'm talking about it, and that's the beautiful thing about doing these reviews with people is the fact that you get to enjoy an experience with somebody else. And therefore you get geeked out over the same stuff to the point where like, does that other stuff really matter? The little nitpicky stuff that I didn't like.
Right.
I think the stuff that we love outweighs the stuff that we didn't like or I didn't like.
Yeah, again, it's not perfect. Right. Look, no show, no anything is perfect. We all know that. So, I've just kind of got past watching things for that reason. I like to enjoy this stuff, man. So
Me too.
I don't want to, if it's really bad, then I'll say it's really bad. But as long as they're trying and they're being respectful, I'm fine with this kind of stuff. I love it. I love this.
Same here. I'm just thankful that we actually have this believe it or not, Cobra Kai has a new season before Stranger Things. So they have one up on Stranger
Things. We have 6 seasons of a show about a karate fight that we watched in '84. Like, that's insane.
And no one would have thought that we would actually have a spin-off of an 80s show that happened like 30 or 40 years, 40 years ago.
No way, man. It's so fun. It's so much fun.
But yeah, I felt that way though too at first, Emmett. I really did. At first, I'm like, okay, it's not really going anywhere. The fights are not really adding up to anything.
That is the one thing I will say that I do want to say that. I don't think these kids are taking, Johnny, Robbie, all the Robbie, Miguel, they're all taking it seriously, but some of the kids you can tell are not taking the karate seriously. So it does look, when you see like the dudes in, where were they? Are they in Okinawa? No, they're in Vietnam.
Is
it Vietnam?
They're in a different country. I know that. I forgot.
Wherever Kreese is, those dudes look like real, like they know what the fuck they're doing. Like them, they still somewhat look kind of janky and like, oh, I just learned how to kick a few days ago, kind of. So, and again, Miguel still looks great. Robbie looks great. Like the main characters look good, but there's a couple of the background characters where I'm just like, did you guys even try to like show them anything? Like, really? By now, season 6? Like, come on.
My thing is this: what did you think of the flat? Now I know that we are almost about to wrap up, but what did you think of the younger versions of Kreese and also Silver?
Yeah, I don't mind it because again, they're adding to this story, and this is a weird thing because they're kind of making it up as they go. So it is, it kind of is what it is, but it does make sense where these characters are now, at least. Like, so. I don't know. Yeah, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I like what they did with Kreese going into the cave and trying to get the dagger and stuff. I didn't mind any of that. I thought it made sense for this world and how they set it up at least.
Right. I thought that they established that really nice because of the fact that he gets bitten by the Cobra, and then he has to basically fight his own demons, which is Johnny. To take down the Cobra, because in his eyes he sees Johnny as the enemy, that Johnny let him down and stuff like that. So he sees him as the immortal enemy, and therefore he's confronting him, and he's going to stop at nothing to get what he wants. And so he needs to earn the respect of his old sensei in order to get what he wants, and then earn his way into being an instructor. And
yeah,
I think it works. And then of course now he has a love interest, which is creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought for a minute he was going to be like almost good this season, just because the way they kind of set up him, trying to save the little girl, in the beginning and stuff like that. I thought they were going to go with more where he's kind of turned. And again, he's never going to be good, but just more compassionate. I don't know. I don't know what I thought.
More of the compassionate type, basically.
Yeah. And then as soon as he becomes the instructor, he's like, yeah, no, kill everybody. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, he's still Kreese. Gotcha.
He's just doing it to protect her because he had feelings for her. Is all it was. I don't think
he had feelings for the little girl, but I think he just protected her. Like, yeah.
Right.
Felt protective over her. Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's everything that I wanted to cover as far as Cobra Kai season 6 part.
It was fun. It was fun. I am mad that we are, we have to wait to get more, but I am also glad we have more coming. So,
me too as well.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be it as far as this review goes. I just want to thank everybody in the comment section and stuff like that too, commenting. I know I got one little small detail wrong. I corrected that.
It happens, man. Don't worry about that.
Right. But Derpy Entertainment says great goated cliffhanger. Then you also had basically Saints Row said Tory hater, stuff like that. But thank you, Saints Row. Thank you to my wife for joining. Tay, thank you, even though we might slightly disagree on some things. Thank you, Emmett, for watching and commenting. We do appreciate that over here. We welcome you over to the channel if you're a first-time viewer, first-time subscriber. Please smash that subscribe button, or if you want to, just go ahead and check us out, of course, on the audio podcast as well. You guys can get that wherever you guys get your podcast from. I am part of the Holly Shorts Film Festival this year, and so I'm going to be doing some short film reviews for that festival. They're actually a big, huge film festival out in Hollywood, where they actually go for the Oscars and things like that. So I'll be doing some short film reviews and things like that for the channel and for the podcast. Also, too, check out our Unfiltered Studios people that we have. That's what the US stands for over there, Unfiltered Studios. Check out the Sleepy G Show. Check out That Florida Feeling. Check out Hypno Wellness. Get your Hypno Wellness on with her. Go over to Pedals and Support. Go on ahead, visit Mama D. And also check out the Beeps as well. And also, too, the Stupid History Minute is fantastic as well for our show. So always until next time, guys, have a great and safe night. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. And thank you so much for joining us. And we're out. Bye-bye.